Do you guys notice that something is really going on in this tournament? In this European tournament, something is really going on. The Champions League, the Europa League, and the Conference League. A massive changes, massive transformation is really going on. And the thing is really affecting the viewing rate and the interest rate of persons for this tournament. Now, it's no longer an argument that Champions League is now the favorite because that's where most of our teams are. Most of our dotting teams, that's where they are. And if you notice, this new format of qualifying for Champions League and playing for round of 16 is actually affecting Europa League and Conference League. Nobody's now picking. Is picking interest in Europa League and Conference League. I haven't seen anybody make any video for analyzing Europa tournament or Conference League to tell you the height of impact this format have really caused in the European tournaments. I want to say this and I will say it clear. It was very much easier. It was very much understandable for Champions League as of then. If you are grouped into stages, the losers from each stages will now move to Europa League, and then from there, they will equally move to Conference League or thereabouts. But the thing is now being reshuffled, and the whole qualification of a team is getting tedious and boring. Nobody is picking interest again. Something needs to be done. No? Before you know it, you might not get to talk about Europa League again. Because that zeal, like me personally, that zeal, that tendency, that motivation that I always use in watching all these tournaments, I'm no longer putting it in Europa or Conference League. I don't know if this is happening to you, but if it is happening to you, I want to hear your thoughts on the comment section. Do you think this new format is affecting Europa tournament? Is affecting Conference League and Europa League? I want to hear your thoughts on the comment section. Ladies and gentlemen, I quickly want us to just take a close look at something. I said before about highline defense. Highline defense it's actually of two major categories. And the categories might end in your favor or in your opponent's favor. Which is, if you're not getting it right, you will end up conceiving massively. And if you are getting it right, you will end up frustrating your opponent. But as it stands now, it seems Barcelona are not getting it right in the Champions League, but they are getting it right in the league. So I quickly want us to talk about this highline defense of a team. Do you really think it's actually a huge bust in this modern football? Because this high line is practically, when you look at it, is practically cool to me. But some to an extent, I don't employ any team to apply these tactics. It's practically cool, but to an extent. Now, Barcelona is suffering in this Champions League. Let's be plain. They are suffering because of this. They are conceiving unnecessary goals. And they know that their defense is not that strong enough for this high line. Do you think that they should change tactics, or should they remain with this high line? But I will still give you my own honest opinion. What I really think they should do is, bro, if you want to remain in this highline defensive style, you need to find defenders that can play this system very well. You need to sign players. Or if you can't sign players, you need to try and find a way to coach your team to develop the strength for the highline. And you need to still try and find a way to have an alternative when the highline is not working. Because in some games it might not work. In some games it will still work. So you need to find alternative. It must not always be highline. So to Hansi Flick, it must not always be highline. You guys are conceiving unnecessary goals. It must not always be highline defense. There must be an alternative to win matches.